Hey, loneliness. For me, it would be loneliness after being in a relationship for 3 years and having a breakup. Loneliness. Let's focus on this for a second. There's a million videos out there and books about depression and anxiety, but very few videos out there about loneliness. So if you've come here, then you're aware enough that your depression or anxiety is being caused by this, by loneliness. First thing I want to say is that it might be a comforting thought to know that the majority of people out there suffer this. But the majority of people out there also are constantly, I don't know what the word is, denying it or escaping it, covering it up, masking it, just avoiding it, avoiding facing it by, alcohol, drugs, food, entertainment, being around people that they might consider their friends but maybe aren't really friends, just keeping busy, being around people, keeping active. Those things aren't bad. But they could be if you're depending on them for your peace and happiness. So let's go back to loneliness again, okay? What is it? Loneliness is when you feel like you're missing something. Basically, it's a sense of lack. When you feel alone and lonely, you're missing something, you're lacking something. Which is really interesting. So psychologically, you feel lonely and you feel depressed or anxious as a result, or other feelings maybe, because you feel like you're missing something. And just to prove, to show you that you're not alone in this, that a lot of people are feeling this. The world we live in it's everyone's showing, there's like all these movies, all these glossy magazines showing like people having fun or living amazing lives, or Facebook does the same thing. It just shows all this amazing fun stuff that people are having, and it turns into this competition, comparing. That's competition. The words, competing, comparing. It's when you compare yourself or your situation to others. So loneliness happens when you are comparing. When you're comparing where you are, what you have, with thoughts of, the thoughts could be what others have, what someone else is doing. So I'll give you an example. For me, my loneliness after a breakup happens when I compare where I am now to where I was when I was in my relationship. If you're born on this planet and there's no other humans, and you were raised on this earth with no contact with other humans, there's a very strong chance you're not really going to feel that lonely, because you're going to be raised in an environment, like Mowgli from the Jungle Book or Tarzan, right? You're going to be raised in an environment and you're going to connect with nature or, animals or whatever. You're going to not have anything to compare with to make you feel lonely. You're not going to have that comparison of, oh, there were all these people around and now there's no one. And it's completely different to if, tomorrow you wake up and all of a sudden everyone's gone and you're alone and you have grown up around people. It's going to be really hard for us to really feel how that would feel, but I think you'd feel so lonely and alone that it could even drive you to not wanting to live anymore, you know? So the loneliness really comes from comparing where you are now with where you were or where you think you should be. Okay? So it's the comparisons. Now, the first step is to just become aware of that. That you're going to feel lonely when you have thoughts of where you should be or how you should be living or thoughts of what you've had, where you've been. Okay? I want to say something else. It's okay to feel lonely. Really, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's completely natural. As I said, most people are suffering this, in one form or another. And most people are hiding, running away from facing it. If you're here, if you're watching this, and if it's, you're aware enough to have identified this as a possible big issue, or something that you need to address, then first of all, be okay with it. Second of all, try to be aware of what you're thinking, or the connection to the feeling of loneliness with the thoughts that are causing those emotions. Because emotions are triggered by thoughts. You'll think of your ex and all the fun she's having and all the fun you had together, and then you'll feel lonely. You'll feel, oh, where I am now isn't as good as that thought. Or you could be sitting around and all of a sudden think, well, I'm in my room and I'm not doing anything with my life while there's so many people out there doing all this amazing stuff. Again, it's the thought that will make you feel lonely. So stage one is awareness of the thoughts. That's hard. That's a big step to become aware. Then there's the next step, which is reconditioning your thought patterns. Because our mind is like a machine, and what goes into it winds up, it just will keep going and going, and there will be different thought patterns. So you want to start countering your thoughts. If you have thoughts of your ex having more fun than you, for example, then you're going to need to really start journaling these thoughts. Oh, my ex is having more fun. And the purpose of journaling is to counter those thoughts. So you'll write out the negative thoughts that cause lonely emotions and feelings. Write them down whenever you feel them. At least write 3 a day. And to each thought, counter those thoughts with positive things. And a really big, powerful one for me has been an affirmation. You could call it a prayer or an affirmation, or just something that you'll say to yourself to help condition your mind. It's like training your body for sports. You've got to do this a little bit every day, and then your mind will become stronger, and you'll become more in control of your mind, rather than letting these thoughts just come in, hijack you, pull you along, and just make you feel like crap. So a powerful one for me has been to repeat to myself, wherever I am, if I'm driving, if I'm walking around, whenever I can remember, to just say, I'm not missing anything. I am completely fine and okay where I am. My life is full and whole, and I am not lacking anything. All the happiness and peace and contentment I need is all around me, and it's within me. So I'm going to wrap this up, and I just want to repeat that your feelings of loneliness are going to be when you compare yourself with what other people are doing. Okay? Just know everybody's in the same boat as you. They're comparing themselves with you, most likely. Okay? So you've got to start steering your focus and your attention away from what others are doing with their lives and bring it into your life. It's not easy. It's going to take some time. But it's worth doing this every day, and just stop caring about what other people are doing. Focus on your life, okay? Your life is all that matters. And so what if you're at rock bottom, if everything in your opinion sucks right now? It's fine. Everybody goes through this. Just start rebuilding. Start some sports, start reading. Focus on yourself. Don't compete with anyone. Don't feel like you have to race with anyone or be in a rush. If you feel that way, it's gonna keep you down. But as soon as you can just really have that strength and courage to just blot out what others are doing with their lives and focus on you, take your steps forward, work on your relationships with your family, your friends, your business, your health, your sports, and then your entertainment, things that entertain you and make you feel good, healthy things, not alcohol or drugs, but creativity is huge. If you can somehow get involved with creating something or helping other people, a sense of purpose really makes a huge difference. So being a part of something where you have a purpose, a role to play. For me, I train jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I do mixed martial arts. I write music. So anyway, it's getting long, this video, but those are just a few thoughts, okay? Or don't worry, it's okay to feel lonely. Don't resist it. Don't feel bad or guilty about it. And then try to stop comparing yourself with other people. Focus on your own life and tell yourself you're not missing out on anything. You're not. Okay? Good luck.